Peace, Sawubona. Happy New Year. Welcome back. So good to see you. My name is Keisha, and this is Keisha Tarot. You can also find me on YouTube at Keisha Tarot, Keshatarot. And I'm here to do a reading for Aquarius, okay? How you doing, Aquarius? Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure and an honor to read for you, and we're going to get right to it. Mother, Father, Son, Moon, Ancestors, Divine Spirits, Holy Guides, Ascended Masters, and Righteous Angels, please show me the cards that I need to see to give a clear and concise message to my Aquarian watchers and any cross watchers for the Aquarius. Protect me from all seen and unseen negative forces that would seek to deter the message or hinder the message. And anyone sending me negative energy, send it back to them a trillionfold. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Okay. Ashe. Abracadabra. Amen. So mote it be. Okay. So, how are you, Aquarius? I hope that you are well spiritually, physically, psychologically, emotionally, financially, holistically, globally, and otherwise. Thank you for being here for this check-in for yourself. Hopefully we get a message that resonates with you and your timeline. Okay? Let's get to it. Aqua baby. Aqua baby. Aquarius, aqua baby, water sign. It's amazing. You carry the energy of two elements, Aquarius. This makes you special, different. You already know that, don't you? You should. All right, let's see. Who we have for our aqua babies? Who we have for Aquarius? Okay. Okay, you pulled anxiety, too risky, tolerating abuse, unlovable. Energy under the deck is pent up anger. Okay? I'm going to clarify a bit more with these sun cards. All right, what's for Aquarius? Okay. Detachment, excitement, exaltation, patience. Underneath the deck, enthusiasm. And very much so in your unique way. You got some very unique cards here. Okay. I think I can move this so that you can see these a little better. Just a little. Is that better? Okay. Gonna move that. So you don't have to see that. You see all of that? You have a better view, I think. All right. Ace of Wands, Ten of Wands, Nine of Cups, Five of Swords. Underneath the deck, the Sun. And one more row of tarot for further clarification. Six of Wands, Three of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and the Empress. Tower underneath the deck. Okay? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. I needed a moment to read your cards. Okay, so first up, you got pent-up anger. Okay? It says you have unresolved feelings from your past that make you resentful toward others. Then you have enthusiasm as a 9 at the top. Okay, enthusiasm. You have the Sun card. And you have the Tower. Okay, so you have two really great cards, enthusiasm and the Sun, okay? Happiness, okay? And you have two cards on the opposite end of the spectrum. So two super happy cards, enthusiasm and the Sun, and then two other cards on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Tower and pent-up anger. So first off, what I see is the equilibrium is off, okay? Emotionally, your emotions run the gamut, okay? You go from being very happy to very angry, okay? And when that change happens, it's quick, okay? So I could be speaking to somebody that's bipolar, okay? Because we go from enthusiasm and Sun to Tower and anger. That's really extreme. It's on two opposite ends, okay? But what is being revealed is that I think, generally speaking, you're an enthusiastic, happy person. However, there are times when you are triggered, either with going inside yourself and thinking, either thinking of the past, possibly thinking of your current situation, or thinking about relationships, whatever it is that you allow your mind to wander off to, you'll go to a place that will make you very upset very quickly. Okay, you either tend to do that, or you know yourself to do that occasionally enough that it's been brought up in this reading. Okay, and when you get in your way, you become you can become unbearable to be around. Okay, because the change, the switch up is a quick switch up. Okay, so it makes me think that you know, people don't expect it. I don't know why. What came to mind was the Hulk. Was it Hulk? The Hulk, that green, remember? He would have to go somewhere because he was about to change, and he would just, you know, because in this car, the person is like crouching, and he has his fists, and he's like his head down. And it reminds me of, I used to watch this show when I was a little girl called I think it was the Hulk. He was a green guy, and he would do that, and then he would come up, and he went from a man to a monster. Okay, your switch up might be like that. You go from a man to a monster, or a woman to a monster, and it's literally as if, you know, every cell in your body becomes on fire. You see that crown around the head is just fire. You just become a hellion. Like, it's like all the synapses go off at the same time. Everything has been triggered, and then it's like fireworks. But alternatively, on the opposite end of your spectrum, you see that halo over the baby? When you're happy and enthusiastic, your reach is just as far. So your reach in anger is just as far as your reach in happiness. Okay? You span the gamut, you run the gamut, you span the spectrum. Okay? And it's palpable both ways. You're happy and your anger. Okay? It's palpable both ways. Okay? You have some anxiety about getting close to people because of how things went in the past with previous relationships. It's really difficult for you to get close to people. You are afraid to get close to people. You're afraid to give people opportunities to love you, to get to know you. You feel as though it's too risky. Okay? That's a risk that you feel is not worth it. Okay? You don't feel that it's worth it. Okay? Because in the past or currently, you may have tolerated abuse. Okay? Abuse that really just took you out. You see how she's like curled up in a bottle, like curled up there, and it says any kind of abuse is not okay. You deserve someone who treats you well. So you could have previously endured some sort of emotional, psychological, mental, financial, physical, some sort of abuse that just brought you to the ground level, to your knees, and made you feel unlovable. Okay? It says practice radical self-acceptance and love yourself with all your flaws. It made you feel unlovable. It made you feel not beautiful. It made you feel unworthy. Okay? It made you feel as if it was something that you deserved, because I think you may have thought, then why am I receiving it if it's not something that I deserve? You internalized it in a way that was not helpful or beneficial to you. Okay? So you have some healing to do. Okay? As a result, you tend to be, you have a spirit of detachment when you're in relationships. You tend to detach from people, and you also tend to stay in your mind a lot. Okay? But you know, when you're on that positive end of the spectrum, when you're happy, your excitement is incredible. Look at the beams that are just coming out from his whole body. Your aura is magnificent, and it can be felt far and wide. But just above the beams, you see these dark clouds, okay, hovering. So again, we have that spectrum. It's always there. Okay, so Spirit says you definitely need to work on balancing your emotions. Okay, now when you are On the positive side of that spectrum, on the enthusiastic, happy, exciting side of that spectrum, you are totally exalted. You're abundant, you're flourishing, people love to be around you, you're the life of the party, you are, you are just the cat's meow, okay? Spirit is actually asking you to be patient with yourself, okay? You pulled the card of patience. Be patient with yourself, okay? Love yourself, okay? Love yourself radically. Accept yourself. Recognize your worth and add tax, okay? Even your flaws, okay? And with all your flaws, you're still beautiful, and you need to know that. It doesn't matter how many times someone else says it, you have got to know that, okay? Now, moving on to the next row, you have Ace of Wands, 10 of Wands, you have 9 of Cups, and 5 of Swords. This is basically saying that you have been, you're popular with the men. Men like you, okay? And if you're a man, women like you. You're popular with the ladies. You've accumulated quite the harem, okay? Quite a bunch of men or women or whatever it is that you like, okay? And the opportunities are boundless, okay? Because you're attractive. You have a strong attraction. People are attractive to you. But these relationships and situations, more often than not, tend to be burdensome, okay? The responsibility of these relationships burden you, okay? And you are like wish fulfillment for a lot of people, though. A lot of people see you as wish fulfillment. But then it's like when you give these people the opportunity or the chance, okay, it becomes risky because it results oftentimes in 5 of Swords. Sacrifice, loss, anger, pain, okay, chaos, confusion, fighting, disruption, okay? And so that's why you've come to the conclusion that relationships are risky, they're not worth it, you're protecting and guarding your heart, and you're just scared to give people a chance because of, past hurts and past abuse, okay? You've had your heart broken more than once, okay? At least 3 times you've had your heart broken, okay? Well, the Spirit is saying that you need to continue to work on yourself because you are divine, okay? You are divine, and you have everything that it takes in order to be the best partner to yourself. And that's what you want first. You want to be a great partner to yourself. So that means that you are practicing radical self-love. That means that you're accepting yourself and your flaws. That means you're working on your divinity, okay? You're working on your divinity. When you're working on your divinity, essentially you're working on yourself. And you're working on yourself for yourself, not for anyone else. Because when you fall in love with yourself and you center yourself, then you're going to get that successful relationship that you're looking for. But you will not achieve that until you fall in love with yourself radically, flaws and all, okay? Until you realize that you didn't deserve any of what happened in your past, but a lot of what happened in your past had to do with what you felt about yourself, about your thoughts and feelings, and how you internalized them. Based on how you internalized how you felt about yourself, you allowed certain treatment and abuse from others. More than once, possibly 3 different times, and that led to you feeling like, I need to guard my heart. This is risky. I can drown. You see him on that surfboard? This is giving me anxiety. I'll just turn away. They're back to back, okay? I'm afraid. I'm scared. I don't want to do this, because every time I do this, it ends up in a loss. 5 of Swords. Okay, I don't want to do this. And so you're trying to figure out, why am I always 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment for someone else, but it always turns out in a loss? The Spirit is saying, because first of all, you need to be patient with yourself. You need to recognize the love, the amount of love that you have, that you're giving to everyone else, that you need to center yourself and give it to yourself first. Spirit is saying, you need to balance your emotions so that you don't go from enthusiasm and the Sun card to pent up anger and the Tower quickly, all in a matter of, who knows, I don't know, minutes, hours, what it is. As soon as you work on all of this, you will be successful. You will be victorious, okay? As soon as you work on that, you'll be victorious. And you will attract, you will be what you are trying to attract. Once you become what it is that you're trying to attract, it's game over. You won, okay? You won, okay? That's a short and sweet message, but that's your message, Aquarius, okay? And I'm going to give you some, advice for this message. You get it, okay. Okay, you got 3 cards there. Just get you some more advice. For Aquarius. Okay. Last one. I can smell the chicken. I got some chicken in the oven. It smells good. It's for dinner. It's almost ready. Okay. Aquarius, one more card of advice for the Aquarian. Aquarius, thank you, God. That card did not come out. Okay, so this is your advice. First, let's get this out. Which one is it? Okay, so first of all, you put meditation brings answers. Okay, so Spirit is asking that you meditate. Spirit is saying you need to meditate. Okay. Enlighten yourself, open up that third eye chakra. Sit quietly every day if you can in silence and contemplate any answers or any questions that you may have. Sit quietly for 30 minutes. No TV, no phone, no screen time. No children, no interruption, no nothing. If you can do it outside, even better. Sit quietly for 30 minutes. And whatever questions you have, the answers will come to you, okay? Meditation brings answers. You need to find time to sit quietly so that you can get those answers that you're looking for. Then you got trust. You need to trust yourself. Okay, there's a 16 on that card. That's 7. That's God. That's spirituality. Trust your divinity. Okay, trust your God. Trust yourself. Trust the God in you. Okay, you need to trust yourself. Okay, because there is a light in you. See the light? It's in the middle. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. You know that? Okay, air sign. You came out, you're in your power, air sign. 28, that's money. Money's coming to you, okay? And then you got focus, number 24, focus, and it's going forward, okay? It's going forward. Focus on your future. Trust yourself and stay in your power, okay? Focus on your future. Trust yourself. Stay in your power. Meditate, okay? So far, this is your advice, okay? Card number 9, compassion, okay? This card is universal and can bring many things to you, including an overall awareness. It could also be a time in your life where something is ending, making way for a new beginning. All endings create new beginnings, okay? So we really should celebrate endings and not, be so, we shouldn't have anxiety over them. We should really just look at endings differently than what we do, I think, in popular culture. It could also be a time in your life where something is ending, making way for a new beginning. Be sure to stay positive. You are also being asked to think of others and to show your humility. Also, it is to your advantage to forgive where necessary or to ask for forgiveness. Drawing this card means if you are asked for help, you should do your best to assist any way you can. Be just in all you do. Sorry about that. Be just in all that you do. For right now, you are the humanitarian, and you are also urged to show universal love towards all things. An indicator for this card is for imagination as well as romance to enter your life. So this card means that love is entering your life, romance is entering your life, and imagination as well. This number vibrates to red, beige, or light brown, sometimes blue or green. If you have garments or accessories of these colors in your wardrobe, it will be a great help towards meeting your goals if you wear them during this time, okay? So Spirit is saying, show compassion, not only to yourself, but also to others. Show humility, apologize, or ask forgiveness when and where it's necessary, okay? And assist people when you're able to, okay? Because you are a humanitarian. And I think that is one of the meanings for the Aquarian, okay? So trust yourself, show yourself compassion, show compassion to others, okay? Your money's coming in, okay? It's flying in, it's blowing into you, okay? Focus on your future, okay? Meditate to bring any answers that you need. Work on balancing your emotions, okay? And love yourself and accept yourself radically, okay? And understand that you're not responsible for your past treatment, but you are responsible. You're not responsible for how others treated you in the past, but you are responsible for allowing that treatment, okay? So love yourself and know your worth, add tax, so that hopefully not again, but if you come in contact with treatment that is lesser than, you can quickly recognize it and you can show it the door, because you know that while they might see you that way, you see yourself a completely different way, and those two things don't match up. So that situation has to go bye-bye, okay? So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully this message resonated with you, Aquarius, and was able to help you out and give you some clarity in your situation. Remember, stay ready so that you don't have to get ready, okay? And have a great weekend. Love you. Bye.